Well, let's be clear about this. I've been completely transparent about this. All of my flights have been declared in an appropriate way, just as Peter Dutton declared his flights, or some of his flights. There is a difference between both of us. My flights were commercial with Qantas or Virgin or Emirates. They were all declared in the appropriate way. I didn't have to declare any flights on private jets owned by billionaires like Gina Rinehart because I haven't engaged in it. As simple as that. And it's up to Mr Dutton to explain how those flights were organised to private parties. Some of the things that have been mentioned, I'll name just one. A flight to London return that I took, the first flight from Perth to London, the first direct flight, non-stop, taken from the Australian continent to Europe. Stephen Chobo, the Tourism Minister, was on that flight. I was on that flight as the Shadow Minister. So was Mark McGowan, the Premier of WA. So was Paul Papalia, the Tourism Minister. So I assume was the Shadow Tourism Minister in WA. All of that was declared. When we arrived in London promoting Australia, Alexander Downer, as the High Commissioner, hosted an event at the High Commission. It was a very good event, and Alexander Downer did a very good job of that. Now, I've declared everything. I just make this point, and I just make the point as well, that the person who is trying to sell a book, and fair enough, I don't see declarations that he's a former Liberal Party staffer for a number of senior members of the Liberal Party, including Joe Hockey and Bruce Baird. I don't see declarations that he's a former Qantas employee. I don't see declarations that in June, just a few months ago, he was a guest, him and John Howard, at a Liberal Party fundraiser in the electorate of Wentworth. So my activity is all out there in a transparent fashion. I note that I'm far from being the most frequent person of being upgraded. Paul Fletcher's been upgraded at least 69 times that he's declared, 69. He's been in Parliament for less time than I've been in. And, you know, if people, I think, you know, what you need to do is to make sure you stick to the rules. I've done that at all times.
Did you ring Alan Joyce personally for any of these flight upgrades? Did you call Alan Joyce personally for these upgrades?
Look, the idea, Qantas have a number in terms of bookings that are private bookings. And in terms of the only discussions that I can recall with Alan Joyce, certainly we discussed, not through calls, we discussed the first flight from Australia to Dubai on an A380. I might note as well that the Today Show, Sunrise, it was full of media. These were not commercial flights. They were all recording and doing interviews on the way. Kerry-Ann Kennelly was there in Dubai along with other people from the project and for all of these TV shows. It was about an arrangement between Australia and the UAE that was held in Dubai returned. Every other flight I paid for. Every other flight. These were two non-commercial flights that were declared in which transport ministers and shadow ministers travelled as well. It's as simple as that. It's very transparent out there. I've declared everything in accordance with all of the rules. And I note that, you know, there are others who I'm aware of have not necessarily declared all of the flights that they've taken. I note the Shadow Transport Minister was out there saying she hadn't declared, she hadn't received any upgrades, and then had to put out a media release saying, well, actually she had, as well as getting other flights. You know, I have at all times, acted in a transparent and appropriate way. And what I'm concerned about here is that Peter Dutton seems to be obsessed with making attacks on myself, my family, and to try to engage in this obsession. My obsession is with helping Australians every day, and that's why last night I was with the Mining and Energy Union talking about same job, same pay. I met Danielle there. Danielle, a miner from this area, and there are miners I met from this area as well, who, because of same job, same pay, the legislation that will begin this Friday, Danielle's pay has increased by $33,000. That's what motivates me every day, $33,000 additional money in her pocket. Now, that is what my focus is on. Peter Dutton seems to be determined to just be arrogant and nasty every day. That's up to him, but I'll continue to do my job. I was in Queensland this morning. Now I'm here in New South Wales. I'll be in Victoria at another event connected with renewable energy after this.
Prime Minister, can I please ask, did you ever call Alan Joyce directly for these upgrades? And if you did, do you think that's appropriate given you had positions?
Well, you can't just... There's no accusation being made with any specifics at all about any of this. None. People are... Peter Dutton is making this this statement. If there is a suggestion to be made, let it be made specifically, and I'll answer it. But I have said very clearly that I recall direct discussions with Alan Joyce over the flights, the Emirates or Qantas flight to Dubai, and of course the first flight to Perth. They're the only times that I was on a plane with Alan Joyce. Of the 22 flights, 10 of them were during the leadership ballot between myself and Bill Shorten in 2013 over a 1-month period, where both Qantas and Virgin provided upgrades for flights that were paid for by the Australian Labor Party to make sure that there wasn't any cost to taxpayers for what was internal business. Now, in terms of transparency, Bridget McKenzie can answer questions herself about things. Peter Dutton can answer questions about his flights. I assume his flights, upgrades, are the same circumstances that I am in, with the exception that I don't have access to a private jet on call, which has happened with Mr Dutton, and it's up to him to explain that, just like all of my financial arrangements are completely transparent. I don't have a trust. I don't have a family trust. I don't have any shares. I've never had any shares in any company. I have always acted in an open and transparent way, and it's up to others to say why it is that they have trusts, why it is that we don't know what they own, what they invest in, what income they have, all hidden away. I have not done that. And in my time in public life, I have acted with integrity. I have acted in a way that is entirely appropriate, and I have declared in accordance with the rules. Even I read today, I declared a cookbook today, because I declare things even when there's no obligation to do so. I have always erred on the side of caution. Thanks very much.